777, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the Star Wars news, views, reviews, and interviews. Let's get started. Star Wars news. J.J. Abrams, a good couple of weeks ago, has announced that he's opening up a indie record label. It's going to be called Loud Robot. Separate to Bad Robot, that's his other production company, that's more with the movies and stuff like that. But it's called Loud Robot. It's going to be coming through Capitol Records, so check out that one for the future. And to more news, Matt Smith, who plays Doctor Who, has been announced to be in Episode 9, the part of the cast of Episode 9. That's some good news. I'm a bit of an old school Doctor Who fan, not the new school, so I'm sort of not familiar with his work, but, you know, he has a look that could work for Star Wars Episode 9. To more news, the poster and character reveals with a bit more detail to it have been revealed in the last week for Resistance. That's the new animation, very kid-like animation that we've seen, very old school 80s look if you ask me. So Resistance has revealed its poster, and some of the actors have put their voices out there and with a partial introduction to themselves and the character. So check that out. You can probably check that out now on somewhere on YouTube. To more news, Star Wars Celebration 2019 in Chicago. There's no real movement yet. Expect November to have a bit of movement, as there's going to be release dates for, you know, media access, crew access, and I think they're going to sort of start putting guests, special guests that will be there, a bit more sort of detailed information, not a whole lot, but a little bit more. That's my opinion, that's what I think, so watch out for November. To more news, Rebels Season 4, the final season, still has not been released here in Australia. Yet again, we sort of have to wait a long time. No release date either. So Rebels Season 4, which is the final season, still no release date in Australia, but you can get it in America. It's good news. To more news, October 3 is the Australian release date for Solo: A Star Wars Story on DVD and Blu-ray. That's going to be October 3. If you're there at the start of the week, which will be October 1, that's a Monday, I'm sure you'll be able to get it in some sort of stores. But that's still about a week after the release date in America, which is September 25. That's on Blu-ray, DVD, things like that. But here in Australia, October 3, Solo, Blu-ray, DVD, steel case, galore. It's going to be here in a way. So to more news, Episode 9, which is filming right now, should be done with principal photography by February. Now, that's the first lot of filming. I'm sure they'll come back and refilm certain things or add to the filming. So don't worry about if it's in trouble or not. If there's refilming, it's just part of the process. So Episode 9 is still filming right now. It should be finished in February 2019. Quite a lengthy one there, but you know, you need to add the detail. So that's the news for this time around. So let's get into views. Views is a big question that's happening at the moment. Should Episode 9 be in two parts, or be really long, or just be standard? Sort of a question type of views segment this week. My view segment is not about how many views a YouTube channel gets. It's not about predictions. It's my story ideas, and this is a bit of a different type of story idea. There's no specific character or actual story ideas, but to the length of the story. Should it be in two parts, or should it be in one long part, or just standard? Definitely not standard. This has to be either a two-parter, or it has to be a really long episode. I think personally, I prefer it not to be in two parts. I think that would be annoying, but it would also sort of put out the whole episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sort of thing a little bit out of whack. Being a traditionalist as I am, but also sort of, you know, accepting modern times, I think the two-parter thing worked with Harry Potter, but it just wouldn't work with Star Wars, especially with this particular episode, because the Roman numerals it's like an I and an X, and if you split that up, the second part, X, would be technically the 10th actual movie, but episode 10 would be like then 11. So it would really confuse things. You can do two parts, it would be okay. I prefer it not to be. I prefer it to be longer. My thing would be long. It has to be quite a lengthy, epic type of film. The best way to describe what episode 9 needs to be really about in a story feel, it needs to be epic and it needs to be dark. If you're going to have a photo shot of what I'm trying to sort of say, if you go all the way back to the little shots that we got of Knights of Ren in The Force Awakens episode 7, that is the feel that hardcore Star Wars fans want to see, including myself, and I think it would work with the regular movie audience as well. That's what I think. It just needs to be, you know, I hate to say this, but like Return of the King. It was long, it was detailed, but it was great. It has to be that type of story, feel, and length. I would like it to be longer than The Last Jedi. Last Jedi was the longest Star Wars film to this date, but I like it to be longer than that. So, you know, on the 2 hour 40 minute would be good. You could go longer, but I think having it too long, it would be harder to sell the seats multiple times. But I'm up for it. So that's my views for this time around. Let's get into reviews. Reviews this time around is another unusual review. It's about a YouTube channel. It's called Bison, B-I-S-N, Bison. It's actually Ahmed Best, who plays Jar Jar Binks in episode 1 and sort of 2 and sort of 3, if you really look out for him. But look, I am a supporter of Ahmed Best. I think he did great in his role as Jar Jar Binks. Personally, I had a more issue with Darth Maul at the time in 1999, more with Darth Maul than Jar Jar Binks. I just thought Darth Maul was a bit of a crazed basketball fan look, but I accepted his look, Darth Maul. It was still good. I thought it looks a bit immature, but you know, he's developed to be an interesting character. Jar Jar Binks, I just thought was just another wacky, weird alien in Star Wars. I didn't think much of him. I didn't really love him, but I just thought he's just a part of the universe. But it was the whole onslaught of what people thought of him that made it to be really annoying. But Bison, let's go to Bison, which is the YouTube channel. It's Ahmed Best sort of expressing his views and using it as an outlet, which is it's great. It's a real simple type channel. It doesn't have a whole lot of effects, titles, music, things like that, but it's a real interesting perspective. Check it out. There's only a couple videos there so far. When you do search it, don't just search Bison, B-I-S-N. Maybe put Bison and then Field Notes. He's got this title called Field Notes, and you may find it a bit easier that way, because there's quite a bit of Bison out there. It took me a little bit to find it, but I give it 9 out of 10. It's great. I just, you know, I'm a supporter of Ahmed Best. You know, he's had the worst ride, I would say, in Star Wars history from fan dislike. But personally, coming from myself, I think he's good. You know, he's not just good, he's great, and he seems to be sort of healthy now, good, rocking on. But check it out. I'll give it 9 out of 10. It's a real non-effects type of YouTube channel, but it gives you more insight about him. Bison, that's a YouTube channel. 9 out of 10. So that's my reviews for this time around. Let's get into interviews. Yes, it's 2 questions. Well, I asked myself, you guys out there. Let's get right into it. What do I think of the Resistance? That's the animation that's yet to come out. Resistance so far. I think it's fine. It looks very Justice League in the old cartoon Saturday morning sort of feel. I like that 80s look. It's very colourful. I think the character names sort of suit. I think the whole team crew called Fireball is interesting, but it still works. But it's, yeah, look, I would say it's okay. I mean, I'll definitely watch it. You know, being a hardcore Star Wars fan, I'll definitely watch it. So what do I think so far? Look, I will say okay. I'm not super excited, but I'm wanting to see what it's all about. My next question is, should the Resistance have Easter eggs? That's like little pieces of information about the past and the future of Star Wars storyline, official canon storyline. And I'll say yes, it needs it, as it's a staple in Star Wars today. I just think the staple of Easter eggs needs to be a bit stronger than it has been before, with a bit more interesting Easter egg ideas, but it definitely needs Easter eggs. Resistance, the animation for Star Wars, definitely needs Easter eggs, and I'll be looking out for them, let me tell you. Anyway, so that's my interviews for this time around. I'm on Patreon. Go over to patreon.com and go to patreon.com, I think, /TheForceAlways. Help support this channel financially. I'm here on a weekly basis with Star Wars news, views, reviews, and interviews of all types. And please subscribe to the channel, The Force Always, only on YouTube. Like, share the video to your friends, rewatch it for a bit of detail. Send me a comment, either Instagram or Twitter, or even via YouTube, and I'll answer those questions as well. So, but until next time, as I say at every end, is to keep rocking.